strikes. Rebuild all that. Hershiser's out on strikes, and that retires.
Struck him out. Over the outside. He struck him out. Watching the game. He struck him out. That's a third strike. The pitch, there it goes. A long drive, way back. It might be that Dawson there. The Cubs win. The Cubs win. The Cubs win. 1-0. And Greg Maddux has scored his first.
What if I told you the most dominating pitcher of his generation didn't throw 100 miles per hour? He didn't rely on strikeouts, and he barely broke a sweat. Greg Maddux didn't overpower hitters. He outthought them. And today, we're breaking down how the professor became one of the greatest pitchers in Major League Baseball history, and why modern baseball still studies his genius, even today.
So, Maddux has us again the 0-2. And that's it for Glanville.
That's the fly ball out. That'll do it. Perfect paint on the inside corner. Got him. The 0-2 pitch struck him out. A good inning for Maddux. They go in order.
There goes the runner, down 3. Ground ball to the mound, doesn't matter. And the inning is over, just on deck. That should do it. Ground ball to Lemke. He's got it. Greg Maddux has won his 14th game of the year. He did it with 78 pitches, and only 15 of them missed the strike zone. One hit.
Greg Maddux wasn't flashy. No blazing radar gun numbers. No intimidating mound presence. Yet for 2 decades, hitters walked back to the dugout, shaking their heads. Maddux once said, "Pitching is upsetting timing." And no one in baseball history did it better. Today, we tell the story of Greg Maddux, the professor, the pitcher who proved brains beat brawn in Major League Baseball. Born in San Angelo, Texas, Greg Maddux grew up obsessed with baseball fundamentals. Because his father was a career military service member in the U.S. Air Force, Maddux moved frequently during his childhood, before eventually settling in Las Vegas, Nevada, where he attended high school. Drafted by the Chicago Cubs in 1984, Maddux entered the majors with a reputation for intelligence and preparation, traits that would define his Hall of Fame career. Greg Maddux made his Major League debut in 1986 with the Chicago Cubs, and Maddux quickly revealed that he was different. While other young pitchers chased strikeouts, Maddux focused on control, movement, and understanding hitters. He learned early that velocity fades, but intelligence lasts, a philosophy that would shape one of the greatest pitching careers in baseball history.
A double play, 6-4-3, and everybody congratulating the 20-year-old kid. In his first start in the big leagues, he not only wins, but pitches a complete game.
By the late 1980s, Mad Dog became the ace of the Chicago Cubs rotation. And his 1992 season became the foundation of his greatness. 2.18 earned run average, 20 wins, earning his first Cy Young Award. However, the Chicago Cubs let him walk in free agency, a decision that would haunt them for decades. Mad Dog joined the Atlanta Braves and changed baseball history. And his transition to the Atlanta in 1993 marked the beginning of a legendary run. Paired with Tom Glavine and John Smoltz, Maddux became the cornerstone of a rotation that ruled the decade and helped Atlanta reach 14 consecutive division titles.
Second strikeout. Langford on strikes for the... That's all for Stevenson. That's all for the Cardinals. That's
With him the 2-2. Strike three called. Fastball outside corner. McGuire didn't like it. The 2-2 pitch. Strike three called. Outside corner. Paquette's out of there. High chopper to chipper. 23 in a row to end the game, and the Braves win it 4-1. Boy, what a job by Greg Maddux.
From 1992 to 1995, the Professor won 4 straight Cy Young Awards, an achievement rarely matched. A stretch of excellence that showcased his complete command of the game. He routinely led the league in innings pitched, earned run average, and complete games, often winning with fewer than 90 pitches. And his ability to read swings, exploit weaknesses, and adjust on the fly made every start a chess match. And the Professor was always several moves ahead. His 1994 season, a jaw-dropping 1.56 earned run average. This was pitching perfection. And why was Greg Maddux nicknamed the Professor? His two-seam fastball movement, his late-breaking changeups, his pinpoint control, reading hitters' weakness. Catchers often said Mad Dog knew where the ball would be hit before contact was even made. He wasn't guessing. He was calculating. Maddux was just elite on the mound. He was elite everywhere. Lightning quick reactions, perfect positioning, and he turned pitching into a chess match. And he was always 5 moves ahead.
The 3-2 got him. Widespread stance and taking a called third strike. Maddux wheels and pegs him behind the runner and picks him off. And now Johnson finishes the inning by striking out for the second time. 9 strikeouts for Maddux.
By the early 2000s, the Atlanta Braves dynasty was beginning to fade. However, the Professor was not. After anchoring Atlanta's historic rotation through the 1990s, Greg Maddux entered the later stages of his career with the same traits that defined his prime: precision, intelligence, and relentless competitiveness. While the radar guns no longer told his story, hitters still struggled to solve the puzzle. In 2003, Greg Maddux continued to lead by example in Atlanta, proving that experience could still overpower youth. His preparation was legendary, his command remained elite, and his presence on the mound continued to set the standard for pitchers across the league. Following the 2003 season, the Professor made a full circle return to the Chicago Cubs, the team where his major league journey began. Back at Wrigley Field, he became both a competitor and a mentor, showing a new generation how to win without overpowering stuff. Even in his late 30s, Maddux delivered quality starts and calm leadership in high-pressure moments.
2-2, struck him out looking. There it is.
Would like to congratulate Greg Maddux on his 3,000th career strikeout, becoming just the 13th pitcher ever to reach that milestone.
In 2006, the Professor joined the Los Angeles Dodgers, adding veteran stability to a young roster. His role evolved, but his effectiveness remained. He reached historic milestones quietly, climbing the all-time win list while continuing to outthink hitters who had grown up watching him dominate. Later that same season, the Professor was traded to the San Diego Padres, where he once again proved that knowledge could extend a career. Facing younger lineups and a faster game, Mad Dog adapted, relying on sequencing, location, and deception rather than velocity. As the 2008 season came to a close, Greg Maddux made the decision to step away from the game of baseball. He retired not because he could no longer compete, but because he had nothing left to prove.
There's it, gets up and throws, and gets him!
You want to hang a star? Come on, move it. Get it out there.
The professor left Major League Baseball with 355 career wins, nearly 5,000 innings pitched, 18 gold gloves, and a reputation as one of the most intelligent pitchers the game has ever seen. More importantly, he left behind a legacy that transcends eras. Greg Maddux showed the baseball world that greatness doesn't fade. It evolves. And long after the Dynasty years ended, the professor was still teaching.
3-0. The Cubs have come back to give him a 4-3 lead. And now Barry Bonds on the first pitch to right center field. Sammy is there, and Maddux sails through. And there it is. LaTroy Hawkins puts the finishing touch to give Greg Maddux his 300th career win, the 22nd pitcher in the history of baseball to collect 300 wins in a career.
In January of 2014, the baseball world made something official that fans had already known for decades. Greg Maddux, the professor, was a Hall of Famer. On his first ballot, Maddux was elected to the National Baseball Hall of Fame, earning 97.2% of the vote. It wasn't a debate, it was confirmation. And by the time his name was called, Maddux had already changed the way the game understood pitching. The professor ended his career with 355 career wins, 4 consecutive Cy Young Awards, 18 Gold Gloves, the most by any pitcher in Major League Baseball history, and 2 decades of excellence against the best hitters in the world. But numbers alone don't explain why Cooperstown was inevitable for the professor. Greg Maddux represented something baseball fans rarely see: sustained brilliance without overpowering force. He provided that knowledge, preparation, and execution could dominate an era filled with power hitters and high-octane arms. At his induction ceremony in Cooperstown, Greg Maddux stood on the stage, not as a flamethrower, not as a showman, but as a teacher of the game. He spoke about catchers, about coaches, about teammates, about learning hitters, respecting the craft, and loving the process. It was a fitting moment for a man known as the professor.
People ask me why I have no Hall of Fame plaque, no logo, or why my Hall of Fame plaque has no logo. I spent 12 years in Chicago, 11 in Atlanta, and both places are very special to me. Without experiences in both cities, I would not be standing here today. On behalf of my family and all those I've mentioned, thank you for this incredible honor.
Greg Maddux's plaque in Cooperstown doesn't just represent greatness. It represents how greatness can be achieved. His legacy sits among legends, not because he overpowered baseball, but because he understood it better than almost anyone who ever played. For young pitchers walking through the Hall of Fame today, Greg Maddux's story delivers a powerful message. You don't have to throw the hardest. You don't have to be the loudest. You just have to be the smartest. When Greg Maddux was inducted into the Hall of Fame, baseball didn't just honor a career. It honored a philosophy. And that philosophy will live in the game forever. In today's era of velocity and strikeouts, Greg Maddux reminds us that baseball is still a thinking man's game. He proved you don't need the overpowering stuff to dominate. Just precision, preparation, and intelligence. Greg Maddux didn't just pitch games. He taught baseball how to think. Baseball always celebrates power, the hardest throwers, the longest home runs, the loudest moments. But Greg Maddux proved that true greatness doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. The professor's legacy isn't just in Cy Young Awards, Gold Gloves, or Hall of Fame plaques. It lives in every pitcher who learns to paint the corners, every coach who teaches movement over muscle, every fan who understands that baseball is, at its core, a game of thinking, patience, and strategy. Greg Maddux didn't just master the game. He redefined how it's played. And that is a mark of a true baseball legend.
25 homers, 100 RBIs. Ward was all over it.
And he got him on one of the days. Oh, right there in the outside corner. And Maddux.
Thanks for watching Baseball Legends Chronicles. If you have a favorite Greg Maddux moment, let us know down in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Greg Maddux's legacy, consider liking the video or subscribing to our channel. And share, because legends never fade. They're remembered forever. And as always, thanks for watching.